Right, y'all. So this one's going to be a little bit different. So grab your coffee and get cozy because it is story time. I want to talk about my business journey, more specifically, how I got started. Believe it or not, I'm actually a recovering procrastinator, and being organized didn't come naturally. I had to learn through trial and error. So if you feel like you're struggling to get organized or you're just not good with time management, I wasn't either. So, like you, I had to learn, but it is a skill you can learn. Hey, y'all, I'm Jennifer, the time optimizer and lifestyle designer for Childfree business owners. Let's dive in. It wasn't until 2015 that I stopped letting everyone else tell me how to live my life. I refused to conform to society and Southern expectations any longer. But first, let's go back in time a little bit. Since middle school, I had a paper planner. Being that was pretty much all I had to worry about at the time, I actually felt really organized having that paper planner. But I had a huge reality check and realized I was not naturally organized, and I had to figure this out on my own. So in 2011, I was beginning to prepare to leave an abusive relationship, and I also owned and operated a couple coffee drive-throughs. I'd been in the coffee industry for over a decade, being a barista, manager, setting up shops, consulting people who wanted to set up shops. So I thought I'd try and own and operate my own coffee drive-throughs, and I had one employee. And as you know, coffee drive-throughs are super tiny. Like there's no storage space, and it has to be highly efficient. So I had to learn how to get super organized in such a small space. So that included learning how to organize vertically, decluttering, and getting organized on the marketing and admin side of things. And when I wasn't at the coffee shop, that meant decluttering about 80% of my stuff at home to make it easier to leave. So while I was decluttering, I was actually packing. And all of this started 2011. As I was decluttering, as I was learning to get organized and all of that, I realized that it was actually really therapeutic for me. It gave me an an outlet for my energy of all that anger, all that resentment, all the anxiety and overwhelm. It was so therapeutic to clean and organize and declutter, and it gave me the control I needed when life was chaotic. And I started to get a little hooked. So when I wasn't at the coffee shop, I also would hang out over at my neighbors' houses. There were a lot of stay-at-home moms who had MLMs at the time. I would help them organize their businesses, their home offices, or whatever office space they had in their home. And it kind of became a hobby at the time. Like helping them do this became a hobby because, again, it was therapeutic and it was an outlet for me. And something else I realized when I turned my hobby of being in the coffee industry from being an employee to being a owner operator, I realized that coffee is more of a hobby for me instead of a career, at least as far as being the owner. Like that is not the kind of business I want to have. I mean, of course I still loved it, but I was getting burnt out. I even had a coffee blog at the time and it was doing really well. And it was just a lot. So while I was at the coffee drive-through, I was at a point I needed to put new systems and processes in place. I had to rebuild the business foundation and put in improved systems. And that made me see how much time I actually had to run the coffee business while still having time to work on hobbies, helping my neighbors. And through this transformation of realizing that I was burning out on the coffee industry and I was really enjoying organizing, it gave me some hope because up until this point, I thought coffee was all I knew. I had done it from high school till, like I said, 2015 really, and I'm 37 now. So, yeah, I was in coffee a while. But yeah, but my neighbors encouraged me to pursue this new passion because they knew what was going on at home, and decluttering also gave me the physical and mental space I needed for the courage to leave. So my lease was about to come up on the coffee drive-throughs, and I had to just make the decision and find a place. I'm like, okay, I got to get out. This is the perfect time to do it. My stuff is pretty much decluttered at this point. Stuff is pretty much packed, and I finally found a place I could go. My neighbors were so supportive. Of course, we all would miss each other, but they really encouraged me to pursue this passion as the next chapter in my life. It would be a fresh start, not just for my life, but for a career. That gave me hope. That gave me so much hope, and it was so exciting. Since then, so I learned a lot about myself during that time, of course. The main takeaway I had was that the day I left, I decided I am not letting anyone ever dictate how I'm going to live my life again, whether it's society, friends, family, strangers, didn't matter. And I've been living an unconventional lifestyle and business on my time and terms since then. So to give you an idea of what that looks like, I never wanted kids. I'm not married. I used to think I wanted to get married, but not anymore. I live with my amazing boyfriend. We've been together almost 8 years now. I dropped out of college the first time, and then I didn't graduate until age 35. I much rather prefer to work multiple part-time jobs than a corporate setting any day. And working part-time also kind of worked out when I started getting health issues. I just prefer enjoying my life now instead of only saving for one day, waiting for retirement. Because if you're lucky, you'll make it to that point. As of the end of 2020, for the first time in my life, I have been financially independent. And that was an entire process journey of its own, which I'll might have to do in another video if you're curious about that. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. Now I only pursue opportunities that are aligned with my mission, my vision, and my values. Everything I do is intentional, whether it's napping, playing video games, watching TV, hanging out with people, being productive, whatever it is all intentional. I have a structured but very flexible schedule that works for me. I take trips up the mountain whenever I want, and it's my happy place. And I'm just so in awe with how beautiful it is up there. Or I can just simply hang out at home. I'm a huge homebody and hang out with my boyfriend and my pet rabbit and just game, watch TV together. Or we'll go try a new restaurant or go to the coffee shop. It's a simple life. From the outside, it's a simple, boring life, but it's relaxing and calm. And it's the life I want in this moment, at this point in my life. I'm so grateful for how far I've come, everything I've overcome. It's made me who I am now. So even though there were a lot of ups and downs, I still have no regrets. Otherwise, I wouldn't be where I am today. I always knew life could be cut short, but after my mom's passing last year, that became much more prominent and another motivator to pursue the life I want without regret. Because I realized you only die once, but you get to live every day. And I don't think enough people appreciate that because time is so finite and you can never gain it back, but you can always earn more money. So I want to make the most out of life while I'm here and help as many people as possible. So if any of this resonated with you, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. And if you're curious and want to know why my business has been 8 years in the making, let me know in the comments and I'll make that a part 2 of my story.